Hello friends, Got1613 here. I want to talk about two things today. First is that I'm going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online all the time because it came out 5 days from now, April 4th. But I got early access because I pre-ordered the game because I wanted to play it. I played the beta, thought it was really good. Most of the time, most of the betas were pretty good. The second to last beta was garbage. It's the worst thing ever. There were so many bugs. It was unplayable garbage. But then the beta before that, or after that, they fixed all the bugs. The game's amazing. I actually started playing it today, this morning. I'm going to keep playing it. Uh, I did run into some character breaking bugs, so I got my character stuck in the starter zone, and then I had to make a brand new character because I could not get my character stuck, and the game dev was like, yeah, we can't do anything about it, so whatever, no big deal. But for the record, don't stand on Lyris Titanborn as she's swapping with the Prophet, or else you'll swap in with the Prophet and they can't get you out. So don't do that. Um, so that's that. And then the second thing I want to talk about is Bioshock Infinite. So a lot of people played that game. A lot of people thought it was really good. They really enjoyed it. I played it. I was really underwhelmed. I went on the internet. I found the scores. I was like, okay, this game's got a really good score. Everybody seems to like it. I should like it. I think it should be great. I thought Bioshock 1 was great. I thought Bioshock 2 was one of the worst games ever. It's just, well, maybe not one of the worst games ever, but from a sequel standpoint, it didn't live up to what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, you know, Bioshock 2. It was supposed to be like the Bioshock that everyone saw with the guns and the plasmids and all that cool shit. It should have been just like that, but better. But it was dumberer in every way. Just dumberer. So, Bioshock Infinite, everyone gave it this amazing critical acclaim and shit. I heard about it, I thought it was going to be dumb. I was like, premise, go further back in time, more advanced technology, futuristic flying city? Doesn't make any sense to me. Great. Play the game. And for the record, I beat it. I beat the whole thing. I got all the way to the end. I didn't just watch cutscenes, I played the whole game. I thought it was super underwhelming, really boring, really repetitive, confusing, and dumb. I can go into all of the details, but I'm going to go through some quick points as to what I thought about the game. First, the actual game. It was cool because you got the plasmids from the other games, but they had sort of kind of different abilities, but they were basically the same. I mean, sure, you did actually have a lot of plasmids, or not plasmids, I don't even remember what they're called, tonics or something. Anyway, you had lots of these different magical powers that you could use. But just like in the first Bioshock and the second Bioshock, you didn't use most of them. I never used the charge one because that didn't really do anything. In fact, I can't even name them. They were so forgettable. The fire one was really mediocre. It was kind of pointless. The only ones you ended up actually using was the mind control one, because that was godlike, because you could mind control anything. And the bullet shield one, that was also amazing because you got your bullets back when people shot you, so you didn't keep running out of ammo. Those are the only good ones in my opinion. I mean, even the lightning one, it was okay, but the tonics still they felt unforgettable. The vigors. Then my problem number. Well, sorry, I'm not saying in order. After that, then I'm talking about the combat. People are like, oh, it's really great. But the combat, it plays like Halo. You get an energy shield and a health bar. I'm not talking about Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 27. I'm talking about Halo. When you play on Halo and you're going around, you're shooting down all the Covenant, and then, you've got an energy shield and a health bar. So you can replenish your health bar, but your energy shield regenerates on its own. But you have to replenish your health by picking up health packs, stuff like that. It's basically Halo. There's no reason for it. It just made the game really repetitive, and you didn't have to think about your encounters. You don't have to think, you have to spend your money always restocking on, health pickups and stuff like that, so that way you weren't running out of health. You didn't have to try to make sure you had more health items. Instead, it was always just shoot guys when you get down, find a corner, duck, wait, then go shoot guys. Chest-high walls everywhere is great. You can just duck down, then get back up, and duck down and get back up. And you even had the ability to create chest-high walls everywhere. I know Gears of War was fun, but chest-high walls? And then it always turned into the same thing. The entire game, once you got past the first hour, turned into start at point A, so the first part, have a huge fight, huge combat, guys everywhere, just explosions. There's like guys coming off the buildings and guys coming off of like the chain things with the hooks and shit, and they're coming from everywhere. And then you fight them all. And then you go to a segment where it's just like long drawn out pathways where you're walking around, and there's like maybe shops, or there's maybe like, some people and they're having some conversation or something, and then you'll always enter some kind of room, and there'll be like guys who have no idea you're there, and they're no challenge because they're just talking amongst themselves. You can just shoot them, and then they're like, wait, what? And then they get shot. Or you have a room where you walk in, and then you hear a door open, and like, oh, he went in here! And then they come in from behind you, so you gotta fight them. And then it'll move to either a plot segment, so where you'll be in like somewhere where it's pretty much just cutscene and there's no tension whatsoever, or you'll go back to a big huge fight and start that over again. It's the entire game. There's nothing else in that. It's completely described by that one thing. Super repetitive. So it really needed to be carried by the story. The story elements needed to be really strong to make the repetitiveness of the game go away. And what you get with something like this is a really, really weak story. I don't care what anybody says. It makes no sense. I understand that I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief because it's a video game, and I understand that I have to suspend my disbelief because it's a video game about time travel. But the time travel aspects make no sense. They're stupid. They didn't need to be there. In fact, almost all of them did not need to be there, and none of them lined up at all. So, number 1. Vigors. In Bioshock 1, the reason that they had plasmids is not because of magic or whatever. They got away with it with a loophole within the story. They said they found some kind of sea slug or something on the bottom of the floor. They took it, or somebody got bit and their wound was healed, had magical stem cells that were different than regular things, and then they used that to create Adam, which then made the plasmids. Right? They had a loophole. Yes, it was some magical thing, but it existed in the world. They had a reason. They had a way that they made it. Vigors. They exist. They just did it. Not even one point in the whole game did I encounter one person explain vigors. I literally walk up and everyone's talking about vigors, and you're in a crowd full of people with all their vigors, and you even get to test out your vigors. And then you get a vigor. But no one explains it to you one time. Where did vigors come from? They're just there. I know it's a Bioshock game, and there has to be crazy lightning hands, but could there be like one line of dialogue in the whole game that says, this is why this exists? When you get into the harbor section, not the harbor section, basically the harbor section of Bioshock 1, when you're in Fontaine Fisheries, you find the audio diary. This is like an hour into the game. You find the audio diary, or a couple of audio diaries that completely explain all of the plasmids, and explain the splicers. Bam! So that way you understand the story. You feel motivated because with your character. The main character, in Bioshock, is down there because his plane crash landed. The only person he knows is Atlas, who is talking to on the radio. Sorry, I need like a radio. This is like a radio. He's talking to on the radio like, Atlas, give me help, and then Atlas helps him out. And he's scared, and he doesn't know what to do. And the main character does, the fact that he's killing people and whatever, he does out of self-defense, and then when you learn about what happened to the story, you can piece it together, and you want the character to succeed. Because you can piece together the story. In Bioshock Infinite, they deliberately don't tell you the story, because it's supposed to be like some kind of amnesia trick or something. But they don't explain to you why Booker DeWitt doesn't know any of the things that's happening. Booker DeWitt knows all of these different things. But he went through some kind of amnesia. The amnesia was that he became a new person. He, rebirthed himself or something. But it's so inconsistent with the rest of the game. I'm sorry, my head is, hurting trying to think about how bad this is. Now I'm just going to rant. I'm just going to go all the things that make no sense, and it's inconsistent. When you're going for the Chinese guy, I don't even remember his name. Forgettable. You're going to the Chinese weaponsmith. And you find him, but he's dead. So then, Elizabeth's like, I can tear open holes in the universe. So she just does. Which she should have done right away, and just gotten them away. I don't know why she couldn't do that. But, because she could have gone to Paris, but she never went. But anyway, tears open a hole in the universe. You step through the hole, and then you find the Chinese guy. And the Chinese guy is, crazy, because he's, not in his right mind, because he died. he died in another universe. So what that inherently means that if in any universe at any time a person dies, then in all other 100% of all other instances, that person is brain dead because they think they should be dead. But Booker DeWitt and all the other people don't have this problem. Yes, it does happen to Booker DeWitt. But now is my next point. Later, they try to explain it that when you go to the other universe where the rebellion's already happening, that Booker DeWitt's already dead. So when he walks in there, his nose starts to bleed. But that doesn't make sense, because the Chinese guy's universe, where his nose was bleeding, was his own. He didn't die there. So he was fine. If they brought him to the other universe, then his nose should have started bleeding and he should have gotten confused. But Booker DeWitt didn't know he was dead, but he seemed to be fine until he went and found out that he was dead. But the Chinese guy would have no way of knowing that he was dead because he didn't exist in that other universe. Does that make sense? Like, I don't understand the story. And then they're supposed to try to get you to believe all this ridiculous stuff about the mother, and then Comstock, that Comstock is actually Booker DeWitt. Spoiler alert. I'm going to put spoiler alert at the top of this video, don't worry. But I don't understand. Comstock is supposed to actually be Booker DeWitt from the future, so Booker DeWitt goes to a war, kills a bunch of dudes, feels really bad about it, then gets really old, then he decides to create a city in the past, so he enlists the help of those twin people to travel back in time, and then he travels back in time, creates the city, the floating city, and becomes Comstock. And then after he makes the city and rises into the air, he then goes back in time again and steals his own daughter and then brings her to the future. And then Booker DeWitt has a mark on him, so then he knows that Booker DeWitt would come for him, which he doesn't. He doesn't know because Booker DeWitt would never know that he would come for him because it's impossible. Booker DeWitt would never make that connection because Booker DeWitt did not know about Columbia, so he would have no reason to go there unless the twins, who were apparently dead the whole time, sent him there. Again, this is where my problem comes in. The twins were dead. They were dead the whole game. They never existed. But apparently they existed. And the city is floating. How is the city floating? Quantum mechanics. Why don't we have a floating city? I don't know. I'm not a science fiction writer, but I'm pretty sure that in the 1800s or whatever, they had a smaller grasp on quantum mechanics than we do right now. Yet we haven't used quantum mechanics to travel through time or make any floating cities. Now, I will even say that within the context of the game world, that they're using quantum mechanics to explain everything. But it doesn't explain how the dead can stay alive and the time travel that doesn't works. Here, more plot things. Alright, so the leader of the rebellion, the woman. Again, don't remember her name. I don't know why I don't remember her name, but it's all forgettable. So when Booker DeWitt and Elizabeth go to the other world, the other universe, where Booker DeWitt is this martyr who died. He died. And then they run into the leader of the rebellion, and she's like, oh, it's a Booker DeWitt impersonator. Wouldn't she stop to think, wait, maybe this is the real Booker DeWitt? I mean, she led a rebellion. She's not, she might be crazy, but she has to be smart and cautious. She's leading thousands of people, and it's not like a bloodbath. They're organized. They have, they've done equipment raids. She obviously takes stock of things. She wouldn't just be like, murder Booker DeWitt or this impersonator right away, over and over and over. She would, say, wait, that's impossible, and then try to reason it out like a person. But instead, she doesn't act like a person. She acts like a plot element. And just to further the plot that Booker DeWitt can kill her and then look like he's an more evil guy when they kill him at the end of the game. Spoiler alert. And then so So she doesn't think logically. She uses no common sense. She doesn't take stock of anything, which is completely against her entire character that they've set up through the entire thing. How she's come from nothing and she's had to use careful planning and be really smart and to think about everything. No, all that throw goes right out the window, completely out the window. She doesn't do that anymore. She's a blood hungry monster, and yeah, okay, great, perfect. Uh, then I have no idea. Not the weaponsmith. Um, I don't even know what a lot of the important pieces the characters play. Like, I don't understand what the point is of the giant metal bird protector thing, dude. Is it supposed to protect her? Is it not supposed to protect her? Because she says it's her friend, but it's constantly trying to murder her and Booker DeWitt. Or is it only trying to murder Booker DeWitt, but if it was, then she wouldn't be afraid of it, but she is afraid of it, so it has to be murdering both of them. But it can't murder her because it's supposed to protect her. And then, at the end of the game, they ruined Bioshock by traveling forward in time to the regular Bioshock world for no reason. This is important. For no reason. They went to the room where you get the first plasmid, you jam it into your arm, and they put the bird underwater, and they drowned it. Fine. They got rid of it. But she wouldn't want to kill it because through the whole thing she never wanted to kill it, and then for some reason she's totally okay with killing it. Like she does a complete character flip. Again, people just act illogically and they don't act like themselves. Complete character flip. Drowns the bird, which if it was there, it should be in Bioshock 1 or 2. Should have been in either, but it was not in either. And then they take the bathysphere out, and she's like, there's always a man, and there's always a lighthouse. Trying to say that like Bioshock 1 and 2 and whatever. Well, Bioshock 2 didn't have a lighthouse. Bioshock 1 had a man that was 2 years old because he was a genetically engineered Superman. Again, they don't even explain the science of how they, or they explain this, like, how they did it using their own science. They don't explain, like, the intricate details. They said they used this magical stem cell stuff to create a guy. That's enough for me, because that explains it. Anyway, that guy was in no way related to Elizabeth or time travel. There was only, technically, yeah, there was two endings, whether you saved them or whether you killed them. But ideally, the point is you're supposed to save them. If you save all the little sisters, that's the end of the Bioshock story. We're not talking about Bioshock 2. That game didn't happen. It was the end of the Bioshock story. So, this is all fine. But no, not there is always a man and there's always a lighthouse and there's always a girl. So then, at the end, when there's like 10 Elizabeths in front of Booker DeWitt, and then that's when Booker DeWitt realizes that he was the problem. Instead of drowning Booker DeWitt, why can't he just go, I know, let's go back in time and stop myself from going to Columbia. And then none of this would ever happen. In fact, if they go back in time and just stop Comstock from taking Elizabeth, then they can all lead happy, regular lives. Literally, none of it would happen, and everybody would be happy. Nobody would have to die. Elizabeth would still exist. Like, it's literally a perfect fit to the story. But instead, they drown Booker DeWitt, a character that you can't feel for because you never know his motivation. Every time that he's about to try to tell what's actually happening in the story, he stops or something else happens. It's a mess. The story literally is offensive. It's offensive. They want me to be stupid and to just take everything as being like, okay, I guess that's why that happens. Oh, this character did this? Okay, I guess that's why that happens. No character is consistent in the game. No character acts logically in the whole game. It should have been called Bioshock Stupid Illogical People. Or, even better, get rid of the label Bioshock, because as far as I can tell, it had nothing to do with the actual Bioshock franchise, with the exception of when they went to Rapture at the end. It should have been called Stupid Illogical People Infinite. Perfect title. Perfect title. You know what? Who even made it? Same company. Whatever. You guys, think about it. You've renamed the game Stupid Illogical People Infinite. It's perfect. It's got the ring, it's got the tone, and I think it's a much better name. Anyway, thank you for watching me rant about something that makes me very angry. Not very angry. I mean, it is just a video game. And you know what? I did enjoy some parts of it. Because it is a game. It's designed to be fun. So, killing some people and sometimes getting new power-ups and stuff, yeah, it was cool. But overall, I wouldn't give the game over a 5. You know, graphics and effects and cool cinematics aren't going to win me over for, you know, gameplay that makes me want to keep playing. Innovative ideas like an energy shield. Whoa, most innovating idea ever. Nobody's done that. Or a plot that's consistent with itself. It doesn't have to be consistent with the other Bioshock games. It just has to be consistent with itself. Preferably in 1 hour. It doesn't completely reverse all the rules in 1 hour. As long as that's also good too. So, yeah. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, everybody. If you disagree with me, by the way, and you thought Bioshock Infinite was a great game, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Please let me know. You're wrong. You are factually incorrect. I don't even know what to say. You can't say it was a good game without lying to people. In fact, I'm gonna double check this right now. Bioshock Infinite rating. Metacritic gave it a 5.4 out of 10, or a 94. A 94. And everything. Oh, dealing with themes like religion, racism, and xenophobia, Columbia is richer and more nuanced setting than even Rapture. I understand that Columbia seems like it would be a great city. It's a too bad they spent zero time talking about anything that was actually happening. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will see you guys all hopefully soon. I'm going to try to stream The Elder Scrolls Online all of the time. It'll be really boring. I'm going to spend a lot of time crafting, not talking because I'm listening to character dialogue, stuff like that. So be sure to tune in. I said I probably won't be doing anything on it, but I will try to stream as much as possible. Time permitted. I do have to eat and sleep and stuff, but it's something I do want to do. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a great evening.